Welcome back, everyone. I am Dr. Maria Hanslick, clinical psychologist and owner and founder of Integrated Psychological Center of Indiana. So today I wanted to tell you a little bit more about the Hold Me Tight program that we offer here. Hold Me Tight is based on this book here and is a relationship education program. It's about 14 hours in total, based on emotionally focused couples therapy, which is a model of couples therapy that we use here at the practice that is evidence-based, research-backed, and shown to be extremely effective in working with couples to really create and build a closer and more connected and loving relationship. So this is based on the book that I just showed, Hold Me Tight. 7 Conversations for a Lifetime of Love. And really what that does, it uses the theory of emotionally focused couples therapy and walks couples through 7 conversations that couples can use to understand conflict cycles, what happens, why they happen, what fuels them, and most importantly, how to work through them. So during this 2-day workshop is how we do it here at IPCI. There's 3 or 4 different components that we'll be going through during the 2 days. So it's going to include large group conversation where the facilitator is going to be just talking to you a little bit about the background, giving some instruction about either the background of what we're talking about that day, as well as what the conversations are that we're going to be practicing. It'll also include some video segments of watching different couples who have worked with Dr. Sue Johnson be able to navigate these conversations. And then there will be some discussion among everyone. And then small group breakouts. You and your partner would break out into a confidential space to practice, have some applied practice with some of these conversations. We will have therapists here at the practice just kind of walking around or popping in to give some guidance or assistance as you're navigating some of these conversations. Come back in large group to, if you're comfortable, and no obligation, but if you want to just share a little bit about what the experience was, what worked, what was tricky, and to debrief about it before moving on to the next one. So with this, some people are wondering, what are these conversations and what is it exactly that we're going to be talking through? So I'll tell you a little bit about what you can expect through the course of those conversations. Before entering into conversation 1, we're going to give a little bit of background about what emotionally focused couples therapy is, what the science of attachment is, and how that helps people really in any kind of relationship feel either more connected versus disconnected or farther apart. The first conversation is what the author talks about is, in terms of recognizing, she refers to it as demon dialogues. This is really looking at the negative patterns, negative interaction cycles that couples find themselves in, and this is where couples can get stuck. But when we're looking at this initial conversation, we talk about how they can be pretty predictable within a couple, and to understand what fuels them, including different emotions, surface level emotions, deeper emotions, and other kinds of emotional or attachment relational needs. So we look at, we're going to help you try to understand and identify when you both get stuck in this cycle so that you're working together as a team against the cycle instead of pitting one against the other. Right? The second one is finding what they refer to as raw spots. So this is where raw spots are kind of vulnerabilities or stuck points that can really activate and maintain a negative interaction cycle. And really what couples find themselves in is the more difficult it is to be open about different vulnerabilities that they have, the easier it is to get caught in a cycle, negative cycle, or to have one pop up again. But there are these predictable formulas about how to also interrupt the negative interaction pattern if you find yourselves that you have gotten caught in one or one has started. So we're going to look at things like naming the surface feelings, naming the softer feelings under the surface, and then naming what the ultimate needs are. And we will guide you through that process. The next conversation, conversation 3, is revisiting something that was a little rocky. So this is where we're going to outline other specific steps about how to get unstuck from any kind of gridlocked pattern or communication interaction, as well as how to reconnect after there is some sort of conflict or argument or fight. The fourth conversation really expands on the third conversation. So this is where we're going to spend a lot more time being able to practice identifying and reflecting some of the deeper or more vulnerable emotions and how to express the attachment needs. And this is done step by step, so you're not just left to your own devices, but it has a very specific, stepwise method of being able to do that. The fifth conversation looks at forgiving injury. So when there is, it's not just about forgiving and forgetting, but this is around how to repair any kind of conflict when there has been, in attachment language, we call it a rupture. So when there is a significant hurt or misstep with one or both folks, this is, we spend time looking at how to navigate that rather than it either being an explosive piece between two folks or avoiding or shutting down and withdrawing, so that there really is healing that begins to happen. The sixth conversation is talking about connection through sex. So here we're going to talk about kind of different attachment patterns that show up and common kind of sexual interactions that can happen too, in terms of feeling secure during sex, being avoidant of sex for one or both folks, and then be kind of seeking sex quite a bit. So we look at how this kind of folds into that negative interaction pattern. We look at emotions, fears of different attachment needs, and how to interrupt that and kind of integrate sex into the relationship in a mutually positive way. And then the last conversation is about keeping that secure, positive attention alive. And so we give you a roadmap and kind of show you how to sustain and redevelop, develop, continue your roadmap so that you can continue to feel positive in your relationship and look at what you want your relationship to look like in the future. So that's what to expect over 2 days. Who is this geared toward? A lot of folks ask us, I don't know if it's right for me. Truly, it's for anyone of any race, ethnicity, gender, different background, sexual orientation, because it really is, attachment is something that that all of us navigate. And so this is really very multicultural, cross-cultural, and really applies to folks from all walks of life. This is also very helpful for a couple of different situations. So for some couples who maybe you're at the beginning of your relationship, or you just kind of want, even if you're in the middle of your relationship, you just want to kind of improve your couple connection and just make sure that there's some good maintenance here, even if there's not significant conflict, but just making sure that you're just investing in the relationship and talking about things before it becomes significantly problematic. Also, we find that this is helpful for folks who are in couples therapy, and sometimes people stay in kind of the beginning phases of couples therapy work or of the model, and it's hard to see what the middle and ending parts of this model look like. So this is a more intensive way to expose you to what new skills would be, kind of, and a roadmap start to finish, and to experience what that might be like. This also can help couples who feel stuck a little bit too, because you're not just stuck in the negative interaction cycle. You're also you're getting a little bit of practice of naming the cycle, a little bit of practice of looking at the underlying emotions, and then addressing sex and what you want your relationship to look like in the future. Also, this is great for folks who might want to just renew your connection a little bit more. If you've been in a long-term relationship, been together for quite some time. It's also nice, I find, for folks who maybe have never been to couples therapy or or maybe individual therapy or not, but don't either have um, the time resources, or don't want to make a time commitment of weekly therapy for several months, but you can carve out a few days. So this is also nice for you to be able to kind of get some intensified work done in a short period of time. People often ask us too, is there anything I should do to prepare? The book that I showed at the beginning, so Hold Me Tight, is right here. This is nice to get, not a requirement by any means, but it just gives you a little bit of exposure to some of the principles and concepts that we're going to be talking about. So it's nice to be able to follow along, and it gives some more specific examples of a couple in different parts of the process. There is a workbook also that a Hold Me Tight workbook that can help you maintain gains after the workshop. But we are going to be providing you with any of the materials that you're going to need during the workshop. Let's see here. So process, how do you sign up? So there's 3 steps here. First, reaching out to me personally, and my email is drhanslick@ipci.hush.com, and you can also email our general email, and one of our support staff would love to be able to help you, get you connected, answer the questions that you might have, and that's info@ipci.hush.com. Second step is completing the required paperwork. Third step is completing payment. Let me go back a little bit. The first step too is emailing me, but setting up a consultation, a 20-minute consultation, just so that we can ensure that this is the right fit for you, answer any questions that you may have, and so that I can answer any questions you have as well about the content of the program, and whether this might be right for you. Okay. Well, the other piece I wanted to let you know about as well is that there are payment plans available depending on the platform that you use to pay. So it's available as of this recording through PayPal, Klarna, Afterpay, and that you can set up payment plans through those platforms. Okay. Well, we're really excited to be able to be hosting these Hold Me Tight workshops. We really find them to be so valuable and helpful and encouraging for the couples that participate in these programs. So please let us know if you have any questions, and we look forward to seeing you here. Bye.